Hulk Hogan's glory days are gone. The signature mustache and bandana are history, and his personal life has been a roller coaster of scandals. Things really took a dive after a private sex tape leaked in 2012, followed by a messy lawsuit against Gawker Media that only made things worse. Add in multiple failed marriages and a damaged reputation, and it's clear the Hulkster has been through it. So what's been going on with Hogan, and how's he dealing with all this chaos? Financial turmoil. Hulk Hogan's life right now is pretty tough. His finances took a big hit after his messy divorce from Linda Hogan, where he ended up losing tens of millions of dollars. It's a real heartbreak for him, seeing how much his situation has changed. The financial fallout from Hulk Hogan and Linda Hogan's divorce was huge. Once the dust settled from their very public split, it was clear just how much Hulk had lost. The settlement favored Linda heavily, leaving Hulk to face a big financial hit. One of the biggest shocks was the amount of cash Linda ended up with. Out of the $10.4 million in their bank accounts, Linda took home a staggering $7.44 million. Hulk was left with just $2.98 million, a tiny fraction of the wealth he'd worked so hard to build over his wrestling career. The financial losses didn't stop there. Linda also got a property settlement worth $3 million. This included their extravagant mansion in Bel Air, Florida, a huge blow for Hulk. The mansion was more than just a house. It was a symbol of their success and life together. Losing it was a big emotional hit for Hulk. On top of that, Linda was awarded 40% ownership of Hulk's businesses. This meant she had a significant stake in his future earnings and ventures. The couple's luxury cars were also part of the split. Linda has a fleet of high-end vehicles. These cars represented Hulk's success and hard work. Losing them was a tough pill for Hulk to swallow and highlighted the extent of his financial losses. Hulk Hogan was left stunned after his divorce settlement as Linda walked away with a huge chunk of their assets. Hulk, born Terry Bollea, and Linda Claridge met in 1981 and quickly fell in love. By 1983, they were married in a grand ceremony, beginning what many thought would be a lifelong partnership. At the time, Hulk was already making waves in professional wrestling with his iconic handlebar, mustache, and famous catchphrase, "What you gonna do when Hulkamania runs wild on you?" Linda was a model and actress, bringing her flair to their relationship. Together, they seemed like the perfect power couple. As Hulk's career took off, so did their public profile. He became a household name, dominating the wrestling world with his impressive physique and unforgettable matches. Hulk was the face of the World Wrestling Federation, now WWE, and his fame went far beyond the wrestling ring. Their lifestyle became more extravagant, living in a luxury mansion in Bel Air, Florida, and enjoying the perks of success. Their kids, Brooke and Nick, also gained some fame of their own. In 2005, they starred in the reality TV show Hogan Knows Best, which gave fans a peek into their seemingly perfect family life. Hulk was the loving but overprotective dad, Linda the supportive mom, and Brooke and Nick's teenage antics added humor and relatability, making household and kids. As time went on, the cracks in their relationship grew. Hulk's demanding career left little time for family, and communication between them started to break down. Linda felt neglected and started expressing her frustrations, weakening the once strong bond between them. In 2007, their seemingly perfect marriage fell apart. VH1 canceled Hogan Knows Best, and shortly after, Linda filed for divorce. The news shocked fans who struggled to reconcile the happy image of the Hogan family with the reality of their crumbling marriage. The divorce became a media spectacle, with both Hulk and Linda airing their grievances and accusations in public. Hulk accused Linda of seeking attention and exploiting their family drama. Linda, meanwhile, claimed Hulk had been unfaithful and even alleged a homosexual affair. The public and media frenzy was intense, with every detail of their private lives being scrutinized. Linda Hogan accused Hogan of having an affair with their daughter's friend, Christiane Plant. While Plant addressed the alleged affair publicly, Hogan has not commented on it. For Hogan, the divorce came as a surprise, despite their long-standing issues. He attributed the split to the TV show Hogan Knows Best, while Linda Hogan cited the alleged affair with Brooke Hogan's former best friend as the primary reason. During the divorce, Linda Hogan faced controversy for dating 19-year-old Charlie Hill. That aside, Hulk Hogan was ordered by the court to pay $180,000 to Linda Hogan's lawyers to cover her legal bills. Reportedly, these fees continued to accrue as Hogan delayed transferring the settlement amount to her. On the positive side for Hogan, he was not required to pay alimony or share any of his earnings from appearances. Without a prenuptial agreement, the division of their assets became a major battleground. Their once lavish lifestyle now turned into a high-stakes legal battle. The media amplified the conflict, turning what could have been a private matter into a public circus. The divorce wasn't amicable. Both Hulk and Linda fought hard for what they believed was rightfully theirs. The media coverage was relentless, and their personal lives were laid bare for all to see. Hulk, known for his wrestling persona, faced negative publicity and struggled to keep his composure under the media spotlight. Linda embraced the attention, using interviews to criticize Hulk and make explosive claims. Their kids, Brooke and Nick, were also affected. Brooke faced more scrutiny in her music career, and Nick's legal troubles added another layer of complexity to the family's struggles. As the legal battle dragged on, both sides used aggressive tactics to gain an advantage. Hulk's team tried to minimize the financial impact and questioned Linda's motives, while Linda's team focused on showing Hulk's alleged misconduct and maximizing her settlement. The public nature of the divorce also impacted Hulk's career, with sponsors and partners wary of the negative publicity. Despite the intense legal and media frenzy, the divorce was eventually settled in 2009. The financial impact on Hulk was massive. The settlement drastically cut down his net worth, forcing him to start over financially. He faced immense pressure both personally and professionally. Rebuilding his financial situation meant finding new ways to earn and secure his future. The emotional toll of losing so much money was also significant. Hulk had put in years of hard work to build his career and accumulate wealth, and seeing so much of it go to Linda was a hard blow. The financial strain compounded the emotional stress of the divorce, making it a particularly tough time in his life. However, the media seized on these remarks, painting Hulk as a man consumed by bitterness and resentment. The once beloved wrestling icon now found himself struggling to regain the trust and admiration of his fans. Despite these setbacks, Hulk was determined to move forward. He continued making appearances in wrestling and looked for new business opportunities to rebuild his career and financial stability. This aspect of the settlement became particularly significant when Hulk won a $115 million lawsuit against Gawker for releasing a sex tape involving him and his friend's wife. As part of the divorce settlement, was entitled to a share of that settlement, further adding to her financial gains. Sex tape scandal. In 2012, scandalous sex tape featuring Hulk Hogan and Heather Clem, the wife of his close friend Bubba the Love Sponge, was leaked. Hogan, a wrestling superstar whose career was flourishing, had a tight-knit friendship with Bubba. Bubba, whose real name is Todd Allen Clem, was a controversial radio personality known for his provocative style. Hogan frequently appeared on Bubba's radio show, and they were often seen together at public events, creating a public image of a strong and close friendship. Their bond was more than just for show. It extended deeply into their personal lives. Hogan trusted Bubba completely, and this trust extended to Bubba's wife, Heather. Heather, a former model, was often in the company of both men, and they seemed to have a close, comfortable relationship. But behind the scenes, things were more complicated than they appeared. Hogan's relationship with Heather was not just friendly, it was intimate. Unbeknownst to Hogan, their private moments were being recorded. Bubba had installed surveillance cameras throughout his house, claiming they were for security. However, these cameras also captured Hogan and Heather in intimate settings. Bubba later claimed Hogan knew about the cameras, a statement Hogan strongly denied. When the tape was leaked, Hogan was devastated. He testified in court that he had no idea he was being recorded and felt completely humiliated by the public release of the tape. The jury was shown the tape in full, which made many in the courtroom uncomfortable. The trial revealed the tangled relationships between the main players. Despite initially denying any involvement in the tape's release, Bubba was exposed as the orchestrator of the recording, adding another layer of betrayal to an already shocking story. The release of Hogan's sex tape caused a media frenzy. The tape, published by Gawker Media, a site known for its sensational content, made headlines everywhere. Public reaction was swift and intense, with newspapers, websites, and social media abuzz with disbelief and outrage. The media coverage was relentless. News outlets examined every detail of the tape, and talk shows discussed the scandal from every angle. Hogan, once a celebrated wrestling icon, found himself at the center of a media storm. Reactions were mixed. Some people sympathized with Hogan over the violation of his privacy, while others criticized him for his actions. Hogan's life was turned upside down by this. He was constantly followed by paparazzi, and every aspect of his life was scrutinized. The public humiliation he faced was unprecedented, affecting both his personal and professional life. Hogan knew he had to act to protect his reputation and seek justice. To tackle the situation, Hogan assembled a legal team and filed a lawsuit against Gawker Media. He sought $100 million in damages for invasion of privacy, claiming that Gawker had violated his rights by publishing the tape without his consent and causing him severe emotional distress. During the legal battle, Hogan took to the media to share his side of the story. He appeared on talk shows and gave interviews, expressing his anger and embarrassment over the tape's release. Hogan maintained that he was unaware of the recording and felt deeply betrayed by his friend Bubba the Love Sponge, who had facilitated the recording. The legal battle between Hulk Hogan and Gawker Media was set to be one of the most high-profile cases of the decade. He publicly condemned the release of the tape, stating that it was a gross invasion of his privacy. He vowed to take legal action against those responsible for the leak, week, setting the stage for a dramatic and highly publicized legal battle. Hogan's decision to sue Gawker was driven by a desire to reclaim his dignity and hold the media accountable for their actions. In 2015, Hogan filed a lawsuit against Gawker, seeking $100 million in damages for invasion of privacy, emotional distress, and violation of his rights. The case quickly became a media sensation, with both sides preparing for a high-stakes showdown. Hogan's legal team argued that Gawker had crossed a line by publishing the explicit footage without his consent. Hogan himself took the stand, delivering an emotional testimony about the impact the tape had on his life. He described feeling completely humiliated and devastated by the release of the tape, painting a vivid picture of the personal toll the scandal had taken on him. The media outlet argued that Hogan was a public figure and that the tape was newsworthy. They claimed that their publication of the tape was protected under the First Amendment and that they had a right to report on the private lives of public figures. One of the most shocking twists in the case was the revelation of billionaire Peter Thiel's involvement. Thiel, a co-founder of PayPal and an early investor in Facebook, had a personal vendetta against Gawker. In 2007, Gawker had outed Thiel as gay, a move that Thiel never forgave. He saw the Hogan case as an opportunity to exact revenge on the media outlet that had wronged him. Thiel secretly funded Hogan's legal battle, pouring millions of dollars into the lawsuit. However, Hogan's legal team argued that Gawker had crossed a line. They presented evidence that the tape had been recorded without Hogan's knowledge or consent, and that its publication had caused him significant emotional distress. This case was not just about the tape itself, but about the broader implications of privacy in the digital age. Hogan's attorneys argued that Gawker's actions were a gross invasion of privacy and that they should be held accountable for the damage they had caused. After 2 weeks of testimony and arguments, the case was handed over to the jury. The deliberations were intense, with jurors weighing the competing claims of privacy and free speech. On March 18th, the jury delivered a verdict in Hogan's favor, awarding him $115 million in compensatory damages and $25 million in punitive damages. The verdict was a massive blow to Gawker, which was forced to declare bankruptcy and shut down its operations. Fast forward to 2024, and Hollywood heavyweights Ben Affleck and Matt Damon have decided to bring this controversial story to the big screen. Known for their close friendship and successful collaborations, the duo is no stranger to tackling bold and provocative subjects. Their decision to make a film about Hogan's scandal has already generated significant buzz. Affleck and Damon, who have previously worked together on acclaimed films like Good Will Hunting and The Last Duel, are diving headfirst into the complexities of Hogan's scandal. They aim to explore the legal battles, personal betrayals, and media frenzy that surrounded the case, offering a nuanced perspective on a story that captivated the world. However, the project has not been without its challenges. Hogan, now 71 years old, has issued a stern warning to the actors, making it clear that he will not hesitate to pursue legal options if the film portrays him in a negative light or distorts the facts of the scandal. With Hogan's legal team on high alert and Affleck and Damon determined to tell their version of the story, the stage is set for a dramatic showdown. The tension between the wrestling legend and the Hollywood stars adds an extra layer of intrigue to an already sensational story. Legal experts note that while Hogan has a right to protect his image and privacy, Affleck and Damon also have the creative freedom to tell the story as they see fit. This tension between personal privacy and creative expression adds an extra layer of complexity to the situation. If Hogan decides to pursue legal action, the case could once again bring the issue of privacy rights to the forefront of public debate. As the controversy unfolds, the public is divided. Some support Hogan's stance, arguing that his privacy should be respected, while others are eager to see Affleck and Damon's take on the scandal. The film, still in its early stages, has already sparked heated debates and intense speculation. One thing is certain, the clash between Hulk Hogan and Hollywood heavyweights Ben Affleck and Matt Damon is far from over. As the film progresses and more details emerge, the world will be watching closely to see how this explosive story unfolds. Scandal-plagued wrestler. Hulk Hogan, once the face of professional wrestling, has seen his career marred by a series of scandals and controversies. Though he was one of the most recognizable and beloved figures in the sport during the 1980s and 1990s, his image has been repeatedly tarnished by various incidents that span much of his career. In the early years, Hogan was mostly known for his larger-than-life persona and his role in popularizing wrestling worldwide. However, as his fame grew, so did the problems. One of the first major controversies hit in the the early 1990s when Hogan was implicated in a steroid scandal. The 1990s were a troubling time for professional wrestling, and at the center of the storm was none other than Hulk Hogan. By this time, Hogan had already cemented his status as a wrestling legend, captivating audiences with his larger-than-life persona and unmatched charisma. However, behind the scenes, a dark cloud was looming that would soon cast a shadow over his career. In 1991, the wrestling world was rocked by a massive steroid scandal. The United States government launched an investigation into the use of anabolic steroids within the World Wrestling Federation, WWF, now known as WWE. Controversy. Hogan, whose real name is Terry Gene Bollea, was asked to testify in the trial. The public eagerly awaited his testimony, curious to see if the beloved hero of the ring would be implicated in the scandal. When Hogan took the stand, his revelations were nothing short of explosive. Under oath, Hogan admitted to using anabolic steroids for over a decade. He revealed that he had started using steroids in the 1970s to help him achieve the muscular physique that became his trademark. Hogan claimed that steroid use was rampant in the wrestling industry, and that it was almost a necessity to maintain the larger-than-life image that fans expected. His testimony was a bombshell. Wrestling. Despite Hogan's damaging testimony, Vince McMahon was ultimately acquitted of the charges. The jury found that there was insufficient evidence to prove that McMahon had conspired to distribute steroids to his wrestlers. However, the scandal left a permanent stain on the WWF and its biggest star, Hulk Hogan. Although he admitted to using steroids during his wrestling career, this revelation shocked many fans and raised questions about the authenticity of his success. Years later, even more damaging controversy. Just days before the first ever WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan and Mr. T appeared on Richard Belzer's talk show, Hot Properties. Belzer, being a comedian, was eager for the wrestlers to demonstrate a move, dismissing wrestling as fake, something that was a big no-no in those days. Hogan and Mr. T initially refused, but Belzer kept pushing until Hogan finally gave in. With WrestleMania around the corner, Hogan was focused on promoting the event, but he also had to protect the image of wrestling. With the audience egging him on, Hogan put Belzer in a front chinlock, choking him out for real and letting his limp body drop to the floor. Belzer later sued Hogan for $5 million in damages. The case was settled out of court, and the incident has since become legendary in wrestling history. If something like this happened today, it would be a huge scandal. Just think about the uproar over Will Smith slapping Chris Rock at the Oscars. But back then, Hogan's career wasn't hurt at all. In fact, Belzer got more criticism, and Hulkamania continued to thrive. Just when it seemed like Hulk Hogan's career couldn't face any more turmoil, another scandal erupted that would prove to be one of the most damaging yet. In 2015, the wrestling world was rocked by the revelation that Hogan had used racial slurs in a private conversation. The scandal began when the transcript from the infamous sex tape, which had already caused Hogan so much grief, was made public. In the recording, Hogan was heard making derogatory comments about his daughter Brooke's dating choices, using offensive and racially charged language. The transcript revealed Hogan expressing frustration and using the N-word multiple times. The comments were shocking and deeply offensive, and the backlash was immediate. WWE, the company that had built Hogan into a global superstar, acted swiftly. Within hours of the transcript's release, WWE terminated Hogan's contract and removed all references to him from their website. Hogan's profile was erased from the WWE Hall of Fame, and his merchandise was pulled from the WWE shop. The company issued a statement condemning Hogan's remarks and emphasizing their commitment to diversity and inclusion. For Hogan, the fallout was devastating. The racial slur controversy struck at the heart of his public image and legacy. Fans who had grown up idolizing him were left in disbelief, struggling to reconcile the hero they knew with the man who had made such hateful comments. The media coverage was relentless, and Hogan found himself at the center of yet another firestorm. This controversy not only led to his termination from WWE, but also sparked a broader conversation about racism and accountability. Hulk Hogan asked for forgiveness and opened up about having suicidal thoughts in an interview that aired Monday on Good Morning America. It marked the professional wrestler's first sit-down interview since being fired by the WWE in July, following the leak of a rant in which he used the N-word. "I'm not a racist, but I never should have said what I said. It was wrong. I'm embarrassed by it." Hogan added, "People need to realize that you inherit things from your environment, and where I grew up was South Tampa, Port Tampa, and it was a rough neighborhood, very low income. And all my friends, we greeted each other saying that word." He also stated that the comments were made during a low point in his life and did not reflect his true beliefs. Despite his apology, the damage was done. This incident not only cost him his job with WWE, but also severely damaged his public image. Hogan apologized, but the backlash was intense, and it took a long time for him to begin repairing his reputation. While his racist comments were shockingly awful, they overshadowed other troubling things he said in the tape. As more transcripts came came out, it was revealed that Hogan also used a homophobic slur while talking about a storyline VH1 wanted for his reality show, Hogan Knows Best. VH1 asked Hogan to revisit his childhood home, but he had nothing nice to say about the current resident. On the tapes, Hogan used a slur to describe the person living in his old house. If this hadn't been buried under other scandals, Hogan would have faced even more backlash for his homophobic remarks. In addition to these major scandals, Hogan's career has been littered with other controversies, including messy legal battles, public feuds, and personal dramas that played out in the media. Each incident chipped away at the hero-like image he once had, turning him from an iconic wrestler into a more complicated and controversial figure. If you enjoyed watching this video and would love to keep exploring more exciting videos like this, then go ahead and click on any of the cards on your screen.